All right. Boom. We in the gym. Welcome to EJ's Gym, a guide to elevate your mindset. Conversations with EJ's Gym, special edition. I got my guest in the building. I'll let him introduce himself.
What's up, y'all? My name is Donald Senat. Just happy to be here, man. What's
Big
happening, guys?
Donald. Big Donald. And look, I'm gonna tell you guys, anybody that know me, I know I always talk about my boy. That's my little bro. That's my little cousin, but that's like my little brother. And he's been doing this thing. He played football as well.
Yeah.
Miami Northwestern. Wait, I gotta wait.
Little pride
I don't
now.
wait. I don't know what your boys did because I don't follow them. I gotta get them Rockets, them Rock boys a shout out. They just won state championship. I don't know what your boys did. I don't know
This shit, man. We was going for the 4-peat, man. We lost.
Oh, don't tell me that. The West
Yeah,
lost.
man.
Who
didn't
did
make it
y'all
to the
play?
I think we lost to American Heritage, man, like second, third round. You know, they changed the seedings and stuff. So Central's in 5A.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're in 5A. We're not the same anymore.
Okay.
So they made it so that Dade County can actually sweep it. So
Okay.
Central won the championship. We can all in 1 year.
Okay.
Not Carroll City, but I think that Carroll City can, Booker T can. They separated everything. And for me, I'm like, I need that second round playoff game against Central for my state championship to mean something.
Okay.
That's how I was built.
Wow.
I beat now.
Is that the school that your boy's at, American Heritage? Is that the same
Yeah.
school? Wow. So he kind of knew or they had a formula or got the guys prepared or what? I mean, what happened? Do you know?
I knew we couldn't move the ball offensively.
Uh-huh.
So Heritage has a couple good DBs. Shout out to Coach Little, Earl Little.
Mm-hmm.
So he was with me at FIU, or he was one of the coaches at FIU. I know his son's a dog at DB.
Uh-huh.
So we couldn't score points.
Uh-huh.
And in order to win games, you need to score at least 21 in Miami.
Yeah.
And we couldn't move the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, your light's kind of dim on that end. Like it was kind of lighter before. Oh no, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I got it.
Yeah. So wow. Man, there you go. Man, wow. I was just joking, man. I didn't expect the West. I mean, I can't believe it.
We were going for the 4-peat, man. We lost. So these guys have won 3 in a row. And they're gonna lose to American Heritage this year.
Wow. So you might as well, if you want to start your story, like I said, Donald is a former college athlete and he, has a story. He's a lineman. He's in the trenches, he's one of the big boys. You know what I mean? So I want you to tell your story. I don't know how you want to start it out. Like what made you want to even play football?
So, growing up where we were from, football is just life, man. So ever since, going to PE 5th grade, it was like elementary school. Like you go to school to play football. Of course, we go to school for school, but that PE time was everything in Miami.
Right.
You get me? And I was kind of, I was chunky growing up. Mm-hmm. So playing at the park, it only happened 1 year for me because by that time I got into football. The next year I couldn't make weight.
Wow.
So played the 1 year in North Miami. Was at Norland Middle. Uh-huh. And I was a dog when you playing like just regular football, real dog. So I wanted to go play for the best. Mm-hmm. And although you was a rocket and I looked up to you, the best at the time was that West.
Right.
So I went from Norland Middle School all the way up top to the West, man. And I mean,
wow.
One of the best decisions of my life, dog.
Wow. Yeah, I was shocked. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted you, the whole family, even though I was the only one that really played football like that. I think everybody went to Miami Central, but you, Patrice and Erica, y'all like shifted and y'all went somewhere else. I think Marvin too, all y'all went to the West, right?
So my thing was, it was a football-based decision, but I wanted to do medical magnet too, So I always understood the importance of school. So I'm like, they gave me that program, and it was a program that no other school had but Turner Tech, and I didn't want to go play for it. I didn't want to go to Turner Tech and have to go to another school and play.
Right.
Whole experience.
Right.
So ended up going there, and when I tell you, it was a culture shock, complete culture shock. Going from North Miami to the West.
Right.
I'm like, life is completely different. The way they look at football is completely different. What you do on a day-to-day basis, completely different. So I'm going from playing kids that played in North Miami. You know, they took football as fun.
Right.
These kids that play at Liberty City, Overtown, and go in Cherry, man, these kids have been training their whole life.
Right. Right.
So I get there, and I'm like, I get to JV. I have football IQ, but not like these kids.
Right.
Like these kids are like dang celebrities in the inner city already.
Right. Right. I remember.
I'm playing on these teams. I'm like, man, I'm in practice going against who would eventually be 4- and 5-star guys on JV. So get there. One of my boys actually helped me understand football a little bit more. He was an undersized lineman who played at Lake, but he had been playing center and guard his whole life. So I was big, aggressive, and strong, but I had no football IQ.
Right.
All I could do was hit people and drop them down. You get me? But once you get to that level, it takes a lot more. So play our first couple games. Similar to you, I'm like, just give you a quick story. I want to be pretty on the field because that's the Northwestern culture. So we go and play.
Yeah, I think that's the Miami culture, period.
You already know it.
Yeah.
So, you know, the varsity come watch the JV play. So who would end up moving me up, Coach Chop. I had a couple good blocks, but I wasn't finishing the way he wanted me to finish. He came and cut my armor. I'll never forget it because, you know, you pissed off on the sideline. He like, you're going to come play for me. All that pretty stuff, I ain't with it. I need to go be a dog. And that changed my mindset of what Northwestern football was because we had a tight game and Northwestern JV hadn't lost a game in like 10 years. And the fact that we had a close game and we ended up finding out that HML cheated during the game. They brought up varsity guys to play us. They brought them down. Yeah. So I was blocking a guy. We played HML the following week. The same guy I was blocking was a starting DN. And they had a tight game with our JV, and our varsity beat them by 50 points.
Wow. Wow.
So had a good JV first year and got moved directly up. Similar to you, 10th grade on up, I'm on varsity. There is no waiting to understand you get thrown in the fire.
You're in there, boss.
That's it.
You're in there, and you better learn, and you better make it happen, or you're not going to play.
You already know that's the expectation.
Right.
So you're learning expectations, right? The team I moved up to was a team that had Ja'Cory Harris at quarterback. They had, at that time, Antoine Eastland, who was the best back to me in the country. We had, our offensive line was huge. D-line, huge. Like, that year, I think we had 7 straight shutouts.
Wow.
So I moved up to a team full of dogs.
Right.
There is no, like, easing you into the process. My first day, I had to block a dude that was going to be a 5-star D tackle.
Wow, man. Wow.
14 years old, couldn't be over 230.
Right.
I was like 300-pound future high school All-American. But similar to you, man, I mean, those are the moments that shaped it because practice became hell, but the game became easy. Right,
because the competition that you face every day, you know what I'm saying?
So at that time, I mean, I just pushing myself. I ended up getting my first start that jamboree, 9th grade jamboree against Belglade Central. And then we just took off, man. I mean, high school career was phenomenal. I'm gonna give you what you Yo, Cajo, let's give him praise. Anybody wanna praise the man? Praise won a state championship, a national championship my 10th grade year. Best team ever in Dade County, in my opinion. So
okay. Now look. Now I'm not gonna lie. I feel a little salty. I'm not gonna lie, because we didn't pull it off. People knew how good we were. You know, you guys pulled it off. So I gotta give it up to you. I gotta take my hat off. I gotta show the clean one. I gotta take my hat off. Y'all did y'all thing. You know, but I mean, if we could ever do a head-to-head, I'll still pick us. I'm just saying.
You're a competitor because you got to, but I know that we'll beat y'all by 30.
Oh!
We were too big for y'all, man. Come on. We're too big.
We good. You're right. Y'all probably was big, but that didn't matter for us.
Okay.
That didn't matter. We were coming. Just like y'all were dogs, we were dogs too, and we coming.
I wouldn't watch
we going.
I know. I watched you guys play, man, at the Mecca. I remember watching when I was a kid. I just know that y'all couldn't cover a 6'4" receiver, a 6'5" receiver. We had 3 receivers go to Miami. Jacory's on the ball. He went to Miami. Left tackle went to Miami. Right tackle went to Miami. Sean Spence, Levante, David, Marcus. There's just too many guys, girl.
Okay, I got you. I'm not even gonna call my guys out because I'm gonna let them get on the chat. You know what I'm saying? And get on the Zoom, and I'll let them tell their stories, and we'll talk about this. I'll let them, see. I mean, they know about you guys. Everybody know about you guys. Yeah. So, you guys did do your thing, but you guys completed and finished. You know what I mean? And you played with a lot of guys that ended up doing what they're playing on Sunday. Today is Sunday. They're playing today. Guys like Teddy. Guys like you said, Amari, you know what I mean? So what type of mindset did you have, going into practice, playing against these guys? I mean, at the time, some of these guys were top athletes, top prospects. Yeah. So what was your mindset going into practice?
So one thing I really appreciate about Northwestern is you check the stars at the gate. You get me? All that prima donna stuff.
Right.
Don't matter.
Right.
Because you have to prove it every day in practice.
Right.
There was no, this guy can't, unless you are a starting quarterback, you're going to get hit. You would get pulled because the person behind you is probably a dude that's just as good as you, but the scouts haven't seen play yet.
Right.
So if you had a bad week of practice, you could lose your job for the remainder of the season.
Right.
You get me?
That's real pressure right there.
That's like, because you already know it. The guys were hungry. Like, imagine our receivers that year. We had Darius Johnson, who was like a 4-star, Tommy Streeter, Ken Brett, all those guys, right?
Yeah.
The following year, we had guys like Michael Lee Harris and those guys who all went. Eli Rogers. Behind those guys,
Eli play over there.
Yeah.
Jesus, y'all had some monsters for real. That dude can run, boy.
Whew. So imagine those kids coming to you. They sophomores like Amari Cooper, EJ, all those dudes went D1. Let us get in the game. We want to show out. Because we know what's behind us.
Right.
Because we know the EJ to Amari Cooper connection will get you 6 points too, but they got to wait for the Teddy to Michael Lee combination to score 40 points. You get me? So the expectation was, like, in practice was, I'm going to go against the best player every day.
Right.
The reason I became a dog, I had Marcus Forston. Then after Marcus, who was a 5-star, was Todd Chandler. U.S. like an All-American himself. Right. So you get me? It's like it was a factory, and the one thing that you had to enjoy, once you made a name for yourself, it wasn't about you anymore. I still remember scouts coming into the locker room and Marcus Forston introducing me to everybody.
Right.
He's like, I know what school I'm going to, but my job is to make sure that you can go to a school too.
Right.
So, but practice that mindset. So I'm not gonna go into the situation, but we had a situation where one of our guys and our entire coaching staff got fired.
Oh, wow.
So mind yourself, we had just won a state championship with a number 2 team in the country, and we have no coach. It's in the middle of the summer. We still had practice.
Wow.
Recorded and everything at the gate.
Wow.
Our coaches were Marcus Forston, Sean Spence, Jacory Harris. So we still ran gases like every day. You had to make your times with no coach out there. You had to be there on time, but you couldn't get on the field. You said approach practice the same way you would if a coach was there with no coach present. That was the attitude. That was the mindset. We didn't need someone to tell us what we had to do to win. Ourselves accountable.
Right.
Like, if you do wrong on the field, it's not the coach that's going to yell at you. The guys are coming to you because you have to do your one job. That's it. Don't worry about making a name. Do your job. If everybody do their job, we'll win by 50 points. That was mindset.
Wow, that's player and funny as a coach, player. I always feel like player-led teams are championship teams because the coaches can sit back and coach. You don't have to worry about discipline. You can just game plan because the player is going to lead themselves and discipline themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I still remember to this day. I gave up a pressure. Not just I'm young.
Yeah.
Against Belgrade. I gave it one. Like I'm a ninth grader starting against Belgrade's prominent school in Florida. Gave it one pressure the entire game. Once they realized I gave up a pressure, I had 4 O linemen in my face. Like Jacory's supposed to stay upright the entire game. There is no, unless we don't have enough guys to block for him, he doesn't get touched.
Right.
And it's on us to do it. I'm like, the expectation is not to win a game.
Dominate.
From Shop's favorite, kill a mosquito with an axe. That's it,
bro. I mean, cuz listen here, I've been on a staff before, and to instill that mindset into people, like it's just either you have to do it and understand it, or been in a culture like that. Because to try to explain that to somebody, dog, you can't really do it.
So prime example, I'm on varsity. We beat someone. I think we scored 38, 37 points. Something like that. We won like 30 points. We're getting yelled at in the meeting on Monday.
Right.
I'm like, we won like by 30 points.
Wow.
We didn't score on certain drives. We got yelled at. I'm like,
wow.
The mindset was when we got the ball, we're going to score a touchdown. There is no reasons as to why we don't score 40 points a game.
Right.
The expectation wasn't to win. We wanted you to know you couldn't beat us. You had no chance. Like, I realized the aura we had because of how hard we worked. And that's the key word. People want to talk about, oh, you guys are just like confident. We were arrogant. You guys wouldn't outwork us. You get me? So that confidence came through us having practices that became wars with dudes you love.
Right.
Us running until like dudes are shaking because you have nothing left.
Right.
And when you see a guy like a Sean Spence throwing up because he's giving his all, he can go to any school in the country.
Right.
What's your excuse? You have no excuse. You get me? So those guys set the expectation, and they were the guys who could have done nothing.
Right. And
you watch practice, you see them going 110%. I'm like, you a 5-star recruit.
Right. Right.
So, who am I not to give you 110%?
Right.
But that's why we're dominant. And then they instilled that into us and gave us that expectation. It's like, by the time I got to my junior year, I switched my number from wearing your number 78.
Yeah, I love that number.
I wanted 78 for you.
Yeah.
To the 55, which was like a Northwestern tradition thing.
Yeah. Funny.
I had to ask to wear 55.
Right.
Because of tradition. Benjamin Jones, I'll never forget it.
So he was the one who wore it before you.
Yeah.
Right.
He had my jersey.
Right.
But in his mind, it was still his jersey. So I had to wait for him to come from the University of Miami and give me my jersey. Yeah, he had to tell, like, I had to be, I don't want to say worthy, I had to be an athlete worthy enough to wear the number. Just like just like all of these like it's a thing at Northwestern. It's like, if you're gonna do this, you better be a guy.
Right.
No, man, being on those teams, I mean, not only does it teach you the importance of hard work, man, but it really taught me the discipline that needs to be good. Because people think that like teams wake up good. No, you can have athletes and still suck. If you don't have the mindset where in practice,
right,
your best friend between the whistles is a dude you don't know. Or, and this is like not a positive story. If you're going through practice and your D lineman hit your quarterback and that's your best friend, I'm hitting him for real.
That's it. You got to
fight, and you leave it on the field because you understand that field is a sanctuary to get stuff done. All that stuff doesn't leave the field. when you can have someone come to your face and tell you what you did wrong and you don't get offended because the expectation is that you get everything right like the first time and no ego, that's how you become successful. Mm-hmm. When you have these coaches who give these players special attention and all that stuff, you create ego that creates separation.
I love it.
Can't win like that.
I love it. Preach. I love it.
So when I saw at the West, our big guys, our guys going through practice and really getting cussed out too, I'm like, anybody can get it. Anybody.
And, it's a team.
Yep.
It's a team. Right, man.
That's me, man.
Yeah, man. And I see that, it's coaches that cater to certain players. And granted, of course, all your players are not equal in skill all the time, but you have to kind of balance it out as a coach, you know what I'm saying? Because players see that, and players won't give you their all, is what I noticed when you play it that way, So if you treat everybody the same across the board, in a sense, and everybody can get it, that's when you build that team, that family, So, but yeah, it's funny that you said that too, that 55. My roommate, shout out Pooh, he wore 55. Crazy coincidence, deal, man.
So, but I can say, right, and I'm always push for guys who want to do athletics to go as far as you can, but be realistic with your talent level, because coming where, Haitian parents, not having all that, I don't want to say they worked hard, but we weren't privileged at all.
Right.
Football is the reason I got on my first plane. Football is the reason. In high school, I'm going to Texas and experiencing hotel life and travel life and all this, even before college.
Right.
Going all the way to Nike with a Nike 7-on-7 camp before it became the opening. This is all predicated because of my hard work in football. So I'm like, without football, my mind wouldn't have expanded. Without being at Northwestern and getting those opportunities to see the rest of the world, I wouldn't have known what to strive for. You get me?
Right.
So I'm like, all you need is that one opportunity to give you vision as to what the world can actually offer you. I'm like, I'm a kid of two immigrants in Oregon talking to Jamarcus Russell at the Nike facility. Mm-hmm. I'm like, we're not supposed to be here. You get me?
Right.
I'm sitting there, these people catering to us. I'm like, who am I for these people to really, you got people there 8 hours waiting to cut your hair.
Right.
Their sole job is to stay behind a chair for 8 hours to wait to cut your hair. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's why that experience at Northwestern, it shaped me, man.
That's what's up, man. And that's the hard work. The hard work that you put in is big time too, because it's not like you just went to the school. I mean, you saw the culture, you embraced the culture, and you put in the work. You know what I mean? So a lot of people, I don't want to say a lot of people, because I don't know what a lot of people are doing, will shy away from the hard work, the intensity, just like what you said, the constructive criticism right to your face, telling you what you did wrong and having to absorb that as a man. A lot of people can't do that.
You see, a lot of people talk about what they want. Mm-hmm. Nobody perform action.
Right.
It's not gonna be given to you, man. And that's one thing I learned at the West. If I'd went to a school where I knew how to walk in actually better than people, I would have learned that.
Right.
When you know that there's 3 people looking for your same position every day, I got to outwork you. I got to prove to you every day I'm better than you.
Right.
And how you prove it is not by waking up and doing it. I got to go get stronger, get more flexible. I have to work out hard. I have to come back in shape. I have to do these things so that there's no question in your mind that you don't deserve my position. So I can walk around and be confident because I put in work for months.
Right.
Like, it wasn't a coincidence that we were that good. I'm like, me and my teammates would call each other to go work out. I'm like, you probably out and having fun. We running sprints and gases before we go have fun. There was a prerequisite to everything. It's like, I can go do something dumb after I get my workout in, my exercise in, all that stuff.
Right.
Because I owe it to my boys who's doing the same thing to come back in shape.
Right. Man, I'm thankful too, and I know we had a conversation yesterday, man, because I had some good friends too as well. But to be able to give you that example, because you remember when I came back from college, the first thing I would do early in the morning is work out.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I would bring you. I don't know if I ever brought you to a workout, but I brought you with my boys, whatever the case may be. But you got to get it if you really want it. So I don't understand, like, when people say, or when I see kids, they say certain things and I watch them. I just sit there and watch. And I'm like, you don't really want it. Because you know the kids that really want it. You're going to get up and get it, and nobody got to tell you anything.
You see, and I don't want to segue to something else. I think that's the issue with those that's coming up behind us. Everything's been given. You have to earn it. There's no way around it. Because what I learned from the transition from high school to college, it'll show if you didn't earn it, it's going to show. Like,
right.
If you don't have that ability to work hard, if you made it here based on someone helping you rather than you earning it, you will never play. Never.
That's big. That's
right.
big. That's big.
You went to college too. You know them boys that come in like, oh, I'm this guy, I was that guy. Cool. Show it.
That's it.
Not be quiet.
That's it.
And those are the guys who end up realizing football's not for them.
Right.
Because when it's stop talking, go prove it, and there's cameras everywhere watching every play, there's no lie. You get me? You can't lie about it no more. Oh, I've been putting that, I'm getting stronger. Let's go watch it on film. Oh,
That's it. That's it. And man, I honestly never, because I played D2 ball, and we're gonna get into the college stuff as we work into the transition, man. And I never really thought of it like that, man. But I always had that mindset of I can play. I don't care where I'm going. I'm gonna take somebody's spot. I can play. I don't care who in front of me. I don't care how good you are. I don't care how much work I gotta put in, but I'm gonna outwork your ass.
Yep.
That's it. And that's what was my mindset when I entered college. And I ended up playing as a freshman, undersized. The line was like, I'm not going to lie. Floyd was short, but he was 290. I never got that heavy, dude. I played at 240. 240, dog. I never got that heavy. The line was like, shh. But I got on the field. You know what I'm saying? And I played, a lot of games. I played all the way up to my senior year, and I had a situation with my last coach, but I ended up playing pretty much every game in my college career. You know what I'm saying? And it was all because of that mindset. And it's just like what you say, like, I don't necessarily have to say, yo, I can play. You guys see my size. You see what position I'm playing. I'm going to get on the field and show you. I don't care how big you are, you're not getting to the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that was my mindset. That's what I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying?
You said you put the work behind it. Like, people keep thinking the mindset is great. Mindset without the work still won't get you where you want to go.
Right.
You can have the best mindset, you can understand the game, but if you haven't physically pushed your body to that place, you're not ready to be there.
Right.
You get me? So no, like, I was fortunate to have you because I'm like, you helped build the competitiveness within me. You get me? So on that field, when you combine me being competitive from like playing video game stuff with you growing up, to going to the West where it was a war every day in practice. I mean, we had something called Blue Mondays.
Right.
And it was certain Blue Mondays, man, that the lights turned off because the coaches are OC and DC going at it. Unscripted. It became like a game.
Right.
So I'm like, you leaving Blue Mondays like I feel like I played a game.
Right.
I leave a game laughing to think that everybody sucks. You get me? So it's a difference.
Right.
Like, when you walk on the field in the high school, and I was fortunate to play for a school like this, and you got guys that are afraid to look at you in the eye because they know they don't have a chance.
Right.
Like,
right.
I couldn't play with y'all. Like, I literally had guys on the field ask me, how does it feel to be a Northwestern Bull? I'm like, wow, you're playing me. You're envious of us? Go work hard.
That's it.
So, no, man, it's a different culture, man. And I know Central has the same thing. You get 21 points for just standing on the field.
Hey, with certain teams, man, it was all a mindset. And I never really understood that because I guess just like you, I was on that team. So I never went into a game intimidated. So, like, when I went to college, it was a lot of things that was foreign to me because, I went to a smaller school and it was like they just brought the program back. And so when we would like go against certain teams, like, oh, this team, this, that, and I'm like, what? I'm like, so we taking ourselves out the game before we even start the game. I'm like, what? Like people talk like that? Because I wasn't used to that type of culture. You know what I'm saying?
Like even in practice, when I got to FIU, not to jump the gun, when I got to practice, right? Some of the seniors like try to play us. I'm like, do y'all realize one-on-one is still one-on-one no matter
That's
what?
it.
No matter where you at?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I'm still a man at the end of the day.
Right.
You ain't gonna bully me. No, that's not gonna happen. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know what you have in your mind because I'm a freshman. No, that ain't gonna happen. You swing on me, I'm gonna swing on you back.
That's it.
There is I'm gonna earn my respect. I'm not gonna ask for it. I'm gonna take it.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I did struggle with that as a freshman too. But our school wasn't really big with the hazing thing, man. But we're not gonna get into that too much. But
we didn't haze at all. Like I was fortunate. Like my freshman year to transition, I had some real guys who helped me transition from high school to college. Some real guys. Mind yourself, I played with on that team at FIU. I had a guy sign with me, and I had Gator. I had 3 guys already there before. So going in, I knew people.
Gotcha.
So plus, when we were coming up, like all the kids and stuff, man, I knew the entire class by then. But they didn't think I signed, so I signed late. They didn't think I was coming.
Right. So let's talk about that while we're transitioning. So how was that whole signing process, choosing a school, and what type of advice would you give a student athlete going into that transition phase, senior year, having to choose a school? What would you tell them?
So again, I should have used you more as a resource, and I did at the tail end. Coming from a family who does not know what to expect about anything means that you're making decisions as a 16-year-old kid about your future with no help. So FIU initially offered me the first day of 11th grade. So I got that offer there, and then the mail started flooding in. So in my mind, I already knew what school I wanted to go to, right? I wanted to be a Seminole. I know I pissed everybody off in the family, but in my mind, I went to the Miami practice, and I'm an undersized lineman too. I went when Ja'Cory then was there. I'm like, I saw big Orlando Franklin and those guys. I'm like,
huge,
I play here.
Huge. Yep.
Then Rodney Hudson was still a center at Florida State. He was 6'2", 289. I can be him.
Right.
I can't be those guys.
Right.
So in my mind, I had been playing tackle. I was about 6'1", 240, soaking wet, right? And then I go to a camp, and they told me I should go move inside, play center. I get more offers that way. Couldn't do it because I'm a team player first. I played guard that year. We get to the state championship. That's the game you went to. We lost state championship game. The following year, my plan was to play center the entire year. The bigger offers because schools need to see me snap and move. My left tackle, the All-American, gets hurt. I played every position that year.